What's going on, everybody? I'm Grim Repair. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to change the front brake pads and rotors on a 2006 Nissan Pathfinder. It's probably going to be the same for the Frontier as well. First thing you're going to do is pop the hood, and we're going to loosen the lid on our brake reservoir. The tools you're going to need for this job are a 13/16 to remove the lug nuts, a way to compress the brake piston. I got a video on how to do that if you're not familiar. I use one of these. You don't have to have it, but it does make it nice. Flathead screwdrivers also works. I'm going to use one of these engine cleaning wire wheels here. Brake parts cleaner, caliper grease, a 14mm, a 19mm if you're doing the rotors as well, a jack and jack stands. And there'll be links down below to all the parts and tools used in this video. Now we're going to jack the vehicle up. I got the jack here right under the frame, and we're going to put a jack stand under there so we don't die. Now we're going to remove the caliper bolts here. There are two of them. They're 14mm head. We're going to take a flathead, stick it in the viewing window here, and kind of compress the piston so we can remove the tension on the caliper. Set it up there and secure it. You don't want it falling down on you. We have these two spring-loaded clips here to keep the pads off the rotor when you're not applying the brakes. And these just slide right out. And make sure when you put them back in, that you put the tang here on the pad against this spring here. You don't want it on the wrong side of that spring, like that. And we're gonna pull out the slide pins. This bottom one's got a rubber boot on it. Can be a little bit stickier to pull it out. And there's the rubber boot. Mine are pretty wore out, so I went ahead and bought a new rubber boot. When you're pushing it back in, it wants to slide up and wedge itself against it. It won't go in all the way, so I had to get some new ones. But you want to make sure you put this back where it came from. If you are doing the rotors, you're going to remove these two bigger bolts here. They're the 19mm, and the rotor should come off. You may have to hit it with a hammer, but it just slides on over that. Next, we're going to spray some brake parts cleaner into the bore for the slide pins. Take your wire brush and clean it out. And then give it a good rinse. Let that evaporate. Do the same thing on the top one. Go ahead and spray up these clips here. Everything as clean as possible. And while that's evaporating, we're gonna come up here, clean these off as well. We're gonna take the old pad, use it to compress the pistons. I'm gonna wipe these slide pins down really good and lube them up with some caliper grease. The one without the rubber boot goes in the top. And we're gonna wipe off the excess, wipe the bottom one. Since my rubber boot is no good, I'm going to slide on the new one. And they are a real tight fit. There we go. Now we're going to lube it up. Slide it in the bottom. Take the new pads. Pad material goes towards the rotor. Same thing on the other one. And we're going to put these springs back into these holes here in the pads. There we go. Slide the caliper back where it was. Tighten up the caliper bolts. Tighten up those 2 caliper bolts. Now we're going to put the wheel back on. Now we're going to tighten the lug nuts to the vehicle manufacturer's torque specs. I'm going to raise the vehicle back up, slide out the jack stand, lower it back down. Then you're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to put the brake reservoir lid back on, lower the hood. And after you're all done, you're going to want to pump your brakes before you drive off, or the car won't stop. And that's it. High five, you did it. Thanks for watching.